This week, we are focusing on perspective again, but this time we are looking at two-point perspective. In a perspective drawing, there are three main parts: the vanishing point, horizon line, and parallel lines. All of the parallel lines lead back to a single vanishing point. In two-point perspective, there are two vanishing points. This allows the viewer to see two sides of the scene. For this project, we are creating surreal or dream-like cityscapes. You can add as much or as little detail as you'd like to your cityscape, and you can use any materials that you have at home. Now I'm going to show you how I created my two-point perspective city that's being held up by a giant cat. For this project, you will need blank paper, a ruler, a pencil with an eraser, and Sharpies are optional. I will be coloring with crayons today, but you can use any materials that you have in your house. If you don't have a ruler, you can use a piece of paper and fold it in half and use that as your straight edge. Your other option would be to use any item in your house that has a straight edge. You are going to start by creating a line straight across the center of your paper. This is going to be your horizon line. On the ends of the horizon line near the edge of your paper, you are going to put a vanishing point. Remember, we're using two-point perspective, so you should have two vanishing points. Now you need to create a line that shows how tall your building is. If you make it really tall, you can have a really tall, narrow building, or you can make one that's shorter and wider. I'm going to go ahead and put a straight line right across the horizon. Now you're going to look at the top and bottom point of this line. You are going to take those points and connect them to your vanishing points. Now it's time to determine the width of your building. So you can plan it out first with your fingers and decide how wide you want your building to be. Once you're happy with the size, you're going to go ahead and take your ruler, line it up with your original center line, keep this line parallel, and drag it straight out. Draw a line straight down to create the side of your building. You can also erase the horizon line because now the building is covering that. We can no longer see the horizon line in the image. Now we are going to repeat the same step on the other side. Line up with your original line, keep your ruler parallel, drag it straight out, and draw in another vertical line. You can then erase your horizon line. Now we are going to add a door to the front of the building. So to begin your door, you are going to use your ruler to draw a straight vertical line for the side of the door. Once you're happy with the height, you're going to take the top point and connect it towards the vanishing point on the left side. If your door is on the right side, you'll connect it to the right vanishing point instead. But mine's on the left, so I'm connecting to the left vanishing point. Now it's time for some windows. I'm going to show you two types of windows. For the first ones, we're going to create tiny square-shaped windows. So start by lining up with your vanishing point and creating dashed lines for how wide you want the windows to be. Then you're going to take your ruler and draw in the bottom lines of each window. Finally, you are going to rotate your ruler and create vertical lines for the side of each window. It's okay if your lines don't match up perfectly, you will erase afterwards. going to create some simpler horizontal windows on the opposite side of the building. This time we are just going to create a few lines that line up with the vanishing point. I'm on the right side of the building, so all I need to do is line up with the right vanishing point. I like to add a few lines to show that they're shiny windows. Now it's time to add an extra building on the side. All you need to do is create a vertical line that fits between those two lines that go towards your vanishing point, and then create another line that determines the width of your building. So it's up to you how wide you want to make it. Once you've done that, you can erase the horizon line and you can add any details you want to the front of this building. To finish this building, you will need to draw on the right side. So this time you are going to go towards the right vanishing point. Take your ruler, line it up with the bottom point, and go towards your right vanishing point. You will repeat the same thing on the top. Notice how I am stopping and I'm not going through my other building. Then all you need to do is erase the horizon line, and you can also erase the line that is at the top. So I'm erasing that line right there between the two buildings, and then the line that reaches all the way out towards the vanishing point. You don't need that anymore. To create a building on the right side, I am going to be following these same exact steps. Now it's time to add the sidewalk up front. Everything in this video is optional, so you can decide how you want to design yours. For mine, I'm creating a sidewalk out front by creating a line straight down, and then I'm going to connect the bottom of that line towards each vanishing point. You can add whatever details you want to the sidewalk. I'm going to add a few lines into mine. Now it's time for the creative part. I'm going to create a giant cat that's holding up my city, and I'm creating some buildings that include things that the cat might want. So I'm creating a tuna restaurant and a yarn factory, so you can get creative with whatever you want happening in your scene, or you can make it realistic. I'm using my crayons to add light and dark areas to make my scene look a little bit more 3D. So I definitely recommend doing that. On my buildings, I'm going to have a light and dark side on each one. By adding the value, you can tell that the sun is shining on the left side of my picture. And this also helps your buildings look even more 3D to the viewer. So I hope you try it out. I hope you have fun creating your 2-point perspective surreal cityscapes. I can't wait to see what you post on the Padlet. Have fun!